With the rise of looks maxing, I'm pretty sure that we've all kind of noticed how important looks are. Like really when I look at all these pictures and videos of people mogging and like doing like the little thing in the camera, it really makes me realize that, I mean, and it's really the central point, that looks are, some people would say, the most important thing, but I wouldn't really go that far, but it's an important thing. The thing that I've really found out, and a big realization, is that looks really demonstrate a lot of what's relevant to us as humans in social situations. So honestly, like, it is something worth paying attention to. Now, I've spent not that long on the internet. Honestly, like, I think I've only really been on the internet since like COVID, like that. Like before, I just was never online enough to see a lot of the BS that I see online, but I used to see like a lot of racist rhetoric. Not that it's, you know, racism, race realism, I'm kind of a believer, you know what I mean? But I used to see this type of stuff, you know, black people are like this, white people are like this, Indians with the bad muscle genetics. And honestly, one of the things that I've kind of realized is that, I mean, obviously, you know, it's common sense. People evolve to be, you know, kind of be, you know, to advantageous things to whatever their current situation is. And our looks usually are just like a consequence of that. I mean, as a member of any particular racial group, I think this is good news to hear, because I mean, there's literally anything you can literally say anything about anybody, bro. Like, we're all cooked in some way, in one way or another. So, you know what I mean? Like, that is the good news. But because of all of this, I've kind of looked into some of the research about how people change for different reasons, and kind of noticed that humans overall and in general have evolved to be more attractive, at least according to our own standards, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. So let's get into it, man. Yo, what's good? My name is Bior. I help young people, young guys ascend, but not today with this little hairdo, bro. Yeah, you know, if you're wondering what happened to my hair, I had to use some, like, I was using minoxidil at the wrong time, and you know, my hair like shed, and you know what I mean? It's a long story, you know, but it'll be fixed within a period of time that I'm not completely sure how long it will take, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just don't make any memes, bro. If you make some memes, bro, I'm gonna find you, bro. Like, I'll do something to you, bro. If I see you in the comments talking about any jokes about my hair, my hairline, bro, like, it's not a joke, bro. It's just not funny. So don't do that, man. So one of the first major features that I've seen that have made humans more attractive over time, or, you know, kind of things that we've kind of found more attractive, that we've kind of developed over time, was a smaller waist. The thing about the smaller waist is that, I mean, it's really more selected for in women. So basically, like, the way that it was supposed to happen was that men typically favor smaller waist to hip ratios in women, so that was like a really big driver. And smaller waist in general are kind of preferred. We all know about that, you know, upside down, you know, the Dorito shape that we all go for in the gym. One of the reasons why we were able to develop smaller waists is because humans ate a lot more meat, and it's kind of allowed for us to have bigger brains, and as a consequence of that, smaller guts, because our brains take up a lot of energy that would be going towards like our digestive systems. That's like one of the theories that I've seen, and honestly, it's probably one of those, like, maybe it's probably one of those pro-carnivore diet things. Hey, listen, man, I like eating a lot of meat, pause, but yeah, big pause. Whoa, that's a good, crazy, but you know, but that was actually those are like some of the kind of explanations around that, alongside with, you know, other body proportions, because, you know, body proportions in general are like one of the main things that humans have kind of changed. And actually, you know, this is actually a really good time to show you guys this picture. It might have been the picture on the thumbnail, the ape versus human comparison. And I mean, one of the biggest things that, you know, has changed between us and our like subhuman ancestors, or ape ancestors, was that, well, number one, yeah, our waist became smaller over time, but also that we have longer legs, and a lot of that was mainly for walking. And longer legs in general are seen as a more attractive feature. I actually kind of found that out, which is kind of pretty interesting, you know, because a lot of, you know, I'm South Sudanese, and we're like really known for having long legs, so it's really, you know, that's my advantage, you know what I mean? It's one of the areas where I'm not cooked. Unfortunately, though, I got a long forehead too, you know, so it is what it is. But aside from that, another thing about humans that has been seen to be that we've kind of like changed to be more that we've kind of like evolved and changed was having not sort of bigger calves, but to have calves that didn't shrink as much as some of our other relatives like chimpanzees and other apes. Because one of the things about calf sizes, you know, and one of the things I really think about, like this is like more of like a frame thing, at least for men, is that obviously bigger calves are kind of seen as more favorable in men, right? And guys, having bigger calves is a bigger, you know, is like overall generally better, right? I think it kind of correlates with like, you know, upper body strength and stuff like that. But the thing is, you don't want to be born with big calves because it makes childbirth a lot harder, like on the woman. So there's kind of been sort of like a shrinking of calf sizes in a lot of like our humanoid ape-like species, but with humans, our calves haven't shrank as much, and that part of that is due to that kind of like selection, which is pretty interesting. There are animals or like apes that have longer, you know, bigger calves because it's a lot more practical. A good example of that is orangutans, but niggas are chops anyway, so it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I mean, and that's as far as body proportions go. One of the other ways that we've kind of became more attractive in general was when it comes to like your facial structure, and a big reason, some big things in that is dimorphism, cheekbones, and things like symmetry. Now, the thing is, with evolution, we've been able to like favor these things, you know, strong jawlines, you know, good prominent cheekbones, things like that, and obviously symmetry, because, you know, there's kind of like a relation to like health and genetic quality with that. But I guess as far as like civilizationally goes, humans actually have become a little bit less dimorphic when we started, you know, living in a lot more bigger civilized societies. And you can actually, you know, a few months ago, I was actually looking into this a lot, because you could actually look into a lot of, when you compare bones from our ancestors living a few thousand years ago in comparison to people who lived in more agricultural or civilized societies, or even today, our features are a little bit more mutant. Like we're more like softer, there's a little bit more, you know, there's a little bit less dimorphism. So it doesn't really work so much as a thing that we've kind of evolved to be more attractive of. But, you know, there are certain things where humans evolved to have kind of like a little bit more youthful looking skulls, faces. One of the things that one of my friends actually used to tell me all the time in my Discord server was that if you compare an adult human skull to a baby chimpanzee skull, they look pretty much the same. And that's another thing when it comes to like things like myotony, which is heavily selected for in women. We want younger women, stuff like that, right? But overall, I think in terms of like facial attractiveness, you know, kind of some sort of balance, right, between some sort of like youthful look, you know, not super robust and like looking like a gorilla, you know what I mean? But then something kind of like where you still kind of have some, in men especially, you have some masculine features, you know, which is kind of like what humans kind of evolved to look a little bit more like. And I mean, I think the peak of that might have probably been, you know, back in the day, you know, back when you had like Chad nomads and hunter-gatherers and, you know, stuff like that. So that's something from back in the day. The third thing really just comes to kind of things like soft features, skin, hair health, posture, movement. Honestly, you can make the case that we've kind of like evolved to have like worse posture. Not really, like, you know, just people were like on their computers all day and, you know, less movement. But things like skin and hair, you know, we kind of like select for these things in the way that, like, and what I mean by that is like, there are some things that we find attractive that, you know, we'll look for like in our partners, and that's how you kind of like select and rule out certain features. And a bonus to that is humans these days, we have higher testosterone. And I've kind of figured this out by comparing you know, people's testosterone from around the world. Typically, people who live in industrialized societies, so places like the West, it's kind of like a myth online that, oh, like everybody's low T. And I mean, in comparison, I haven't seen the World War II data because that's something that people always reference. Testosterone was a lot higher. In general, as a general rule of thumb, when you compare people who are like hunter-gatherers today, you know, to or like people who are like kind of living the natural human lifestyle today, you compare their testosterone levels on average to ours living in like the West, usually our testosterone levels are a lot higher. And the reason why, at least one of the proposed reasons, is that we have just a lot more access to food regularly and whatever. The only thing is we do experience a bigger testosterone drop when we get older. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of some of the information that I've kind of came across, and how humans kind of evolved to be more attractive, to be less cooked. You know what I mean? Hopefully, I hope that you learned a lot from this. You know what I mean?